it's Tash. Welcome to Tash's Library. Today's video is going to be another few rapid reviews, and this time I'm going to be looking at some science fiction reads of the year. As mentioned before, I feel that this is a really cool way to just give my impressions of books I've read in a quick, non-demanding way for me, but also a really quick, snappy way for you. Hopefully you're enjoying these. I have done some new release ones, which you can find in the playlist, and I'll link them below. But let's get on to sci-fi. Okay, so the first book I want to discuss was an awesome one. This is the Doomsday book by Connie Willis, which is the first book in the Oxford Time Travel series. Now, I did not know this, and last year I read To Say Nothing of the Dog, which is actually the second book, but it didn't affect my enjoyment, so all is good, although it did give some backstory for me. But anyway, this was an absolute 5-star read. It is set in near future Oxford, where historians travel back in time to study the past. And we follow Kithrin, a grad student who decides to visit 1320 England to learn about medieval times. However, a mistake lands her in plague-ridden 1348 instead. And to make things even worse, the present-day Oxford at the time is beset by a deadly flu epidemic that threatens her return. I adored this. The premise of time-traveling historians, the characters are just really charming. I particularly enjoyed Dunworthy, who is Kithrin's mentor, and also Colin, a happy-go-lucky schoolboy caught up in events. He's just a fascinating character. Really enjoyed him. And I became really attached to these characters. It's a fabulous integration of heart-wrenching and incredibly sad scenes, this deadly threat, but also humor in all the right places. This book is a lot more serious than To Say Nothing of the Dog, which is more light-hearted, but I adored it. It is sad. Yes, it is sad in bits, but I just feel like the interplay of the humor and the sadness just worked so well that it didn't actually bring me down. I enjoyed every moment with this book. It is so superbly crafted, so well structured, and the writing style draws you in. And incredibly, it is a fast read, despite it being quite a lengthy book. The tension is really well built and maintained. You're constantly feeling the stakes, yet we also get emotional reprieve from the more comedic characters. Connie Willis is a master at this. She just is. And just a note, like, there's absolutely nothing I disliked about this book, but it is quite a prescient description of a pandemic, which can be triggering for some. So just note that. The second book I want to talk about is a little bit more dystopian and a bit darker yet, which I know is how much darker can you get than a flu epidemic and the Black Plague. But yeah, anyway. This is A Canticle for Leibowitz by Walter M. Miller, which I also gave 5 stars to. It's a classic, really, a tale told in 3 parts, separated by hundreds of years after the world experiences a nuclear holocaust. Human knowledge is preserved in this isolated monastery, in abandoned field and dangerous wasteland that used to be the USA. I loved the exploration of human nature and the cycles of history in this. What you're seeing is these 3 different parts, these 3 different times of this history that happens after this loss of a lot of humanity, a lot of knowledge, a loss of science. And what you're seeing, though, is that human nature does not change. And people are the same always. And you know what? History works in cycles. And I thought this was like an incredible theme for Miller to explore in this novel. There's a great juxtaposition of greed, self-interest, and violence, along with beauty, knowledge, and meaning. It is a grim book, but it's also a humorous one, exploring the quirks of human nature and the interactions between people. Just a note here, this does not develop character. So if you're a character-driven reader, you may not enjoy this book. I feel, however, that developing character would not work for this book, because the purpose is about conveying the patterns of humanity as a whole, giving a big picture of human history. And so it's not actually about the individual. Having said that, you do get little cool moments with individual characters, but it's not about this. This is about big picture, it's about big themes, and it's about humanity as a whole. I really enjoyed this book. I'm not sure if it's a book I would reread readily because it is quite grim, but gosh, it's a masterpiece. And the third book I want to mention was also 5 stars for me. This is a novella by Becky Chambers called To Be Taught If Fortunate. Now, I have heard that some people like this less than her other books because it is a bit more serious. And it is indeed more serious. It chronicles a mission to explore 4 exoplanets. So it chronicles a mission to explore 4 exoplanets, which is a voyage of 80 years. And in this beautiful lyrical prose, we're given Ariadne's first-person perspective on the mission. Now, Ariadne is the engineer on the mission of 4 astronauts and astronaut scientists with different specialities. And it's fascinating to get these perspectives. So really what we're seeing is her musing on the fact that she's probably never going to see her family and friends again, really, that the world will be quite changed by the time she gets back, but also the grand mission she's on to explore these exoplanets that may have incredible ecosystems on them, that may be the future for humanity. I loved the exploration of the impact of the passage of time during space exploration. It was very real, it was very scientifically grounded, and it was quite poignant. I enjoyed the friendships and camaraderie between the 4 characters, the pure joy of discovery in this. It is very a slice of life. For example, she keeps going on about how she misses coffee. I would miss coffee a lot. There are fabulous philosophical musings on science, on existentialism, on life, the movement of time, and it explores really deep themes of belonging, purpose, disconnection, but in a very life-affirming, but sometimes heart-wrenching way. And the unique alien worlds are incredible. I absolutely adored this book. I liked it. I would recommend it. And that is that. They're the 3 books I wanted to talk about today. Hopefully this will give you some insight as to whether these books are for you. And I'm very aware that these are my opinions. Some people may not like these books. I like them. I hope you do too. Until I see you next time, take care.